Hi folks, I promised myself after my last video that I was going to get way more professional about this. I made a list of the things that would appear in each of my videos. I would, have a location that I used that was the same all the time, and I would use the same paper, and I'd have the same pens for comparison, and I would do sort of different comparisons than everybody else does, and all that kind of stuff. And then I woke up this morning and I just really wanted to use this pen, which I've been waiting to ink since the Chicago show, for when I could ink it live for the 8 people who were following my videos. And I'm just too impatient. So I've got, instead of the really nice tripod that I bought that I could stand up and ride around and all that kind of stuff, I'm using my cheap $3 tripod that has already broken twice while I was trying to set it up for this video. And I'm just sitting on my back deck with my morning coffee. I want to say yum, except I'm going without milk, so there's no cream in the coffee, so it's just warm and hot and coffee. And it smells good. And I have, after this is over, I'm just going to sit here and write in my journal. So that's here. And I've got some paper. Probably, one should do Rhodia or Clairefontaine or Tomoe River, I suppose, for these reviews, because that's what most people are familiar with. But instead, I just picked up the first pads I had. So that's how we're going to go. Anyway, the pen we're looking at is the Leonardo Furore. And it's a cigar, as you can see, it's a cigar-shaped pen. It's got a little roller clip. Absolutely beautiful acrylics. It used to be that, and when I say used to be, I mean just 20 years ago, that acrylics just could not have the depth and beauty and chatoyance of celluloid, but this is fantastic. And I'm sure it's acrylic. It doesn't stink like celluloid, and the price point is only like around $140, so with a steel nib, so there's no way this is celluloid. Anyway, like I say, it's a steel nib. I've got it in a fine here. I did get it at the Chicago Pen Show, and guess, it's a pen. I think it's a sharp looking pen, great color. It's holding it next to a Lamy Safari. It's a little bit longer when it is closed. And just about the same when it's open. Just the slightest difference. There, I've got it right. Yeah, so there's like, maybe a couple of millimeters longer. For those of you who like to post your pens, this posts, I find it quite back heavy when it posts, however. Let me just put my little Safari away. It's much girthier than the Safari. I find the Safaris, they're like okay. I know a lot of people crazy about Safaris. Me, they're just kind of okay. But the main reason for that is I like a girthier pen, so this really appeals to me. There are threads right here, which makes, if you want to get your fingers ahead of the threads, it makes the section quite short. I wish the section were a little bit longer. Threads normally don't bother me, but here there's also a very steep slope down, and the combination of the threads and the slope down make this not really great to grip here. I'm probably going to hold the pen way up here, which is crazy for me. Here's the thing, though, that that I really want to talk about, and why I didn't want to ink the pen before I was doing the video. This has a captive converter, which means you can take the blind cap off, and you've got a piston here that you can turn to open and close it and fill the pen. I'm going to try and tilt this down and do this with just some water. Okay. I think I'm filling the pen. We'll see if it expels any water when I twist the other way. Well, no, so let's try it the other way. Here I'm going counterclockwise. Now I'm going to go clockwise. Now if I fill the pen, you should see the water expel. Yep. Okay. First reason I don't like this kind of system. Some pens, you go clockwise to open the chamber, counterclockwise to empty the chamber. Sorry, clockwise to fill the chamber, counterclockwise to empty the chamber. On some Viscontis, it's the opposite. So I don't like that. It's confusing. I've made messes before trying to figure it out. But the brilliance in this pen, the thing I like about this pen that is different from the Visconti, is you can also open it at the section and just take that converter out. Or fill it like a normal converter, where you can see the little piston going up and going down. Right? I like that a lot. I have had some Viscontis, and I'm a big Visconti fan. I've got about 25 Viscontis. I've had some Viscontis with captured converters that just didn't work. And that is quite irritating, because in those pens, it's you send it off for warranty repair, and it may be months before you get your pen back. Warranty repair works, but it may be months before you get your pen back. Just when the point is, there's nothing special about a captive converter. It's not really a piston filling pen. It's just a converter that has the knob sticking up the top so you can turn it. So why Visconti and some of their very pricey pens, like the Divina Metropolitana, why they bother with that kind of filling mechanism is a mystery to me. I like cartridge converter pens. Okay, just gonna say it. I like them. They are easy to fill. They are easy to clean. So if you get an ink in there that you forget and leave your pen, and the ink dries up, easy to clean, easy to take apart to some extent to do that cleaning. It's true, I buy pens that have fancier and more and other kinds of filling systems. I buy a lot of pens, so I like variety, but having something be a converter filling pen is not a downside for me. So now that I have, I'm just gonna fill it this way so I can see what be going on. I have some Carolina Blue Robert Oster ink that I got from Jonathan Brooks. You want to see this happening? Okay. Okay, now this is one reason people don't like cartridge converter pens, because getting that's a pretty good fill actually, but filling the converter all the way to the top usually doesn't happen. And also the capacity is not that great. By the way, in case you're wondering, I prefer to use a little cotton to wipe off my nibs rather than paper towel. You do have to be careful of fibers, but I like how the towels get all inky and look cute later. They look kind of tie-dye. Okay, so, whoa! See, that's why you don't use the cheap little $3 thingy bob. But let's see if this pen writes right off the bat. And no, this won't be my proper writing sample. I want to show you, I've just inked the pen for the first time. I've wiped off the nib. You can see there's ink. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? There's ink in the feed. Let's see how it writes. There we go, hard start. It put down a line. You didn't even see the hard start. Doggone it, that was the whole point of the video. Hard start. Okay, my first impressions are, I've had 2 sentences that were a hard start. And then then it kind of got its groove on. Yeah, I'm just throwing that little tripod away. Then it got its groove on and it writes pretty well. It's a very stiff nib. One expects that from a steel. Although, because it's an Italian pen, and I'm so used to Italian pens having more springy nibs, though in my head I know this is a steel nib, it still was like, oh, it's stiff. Anyway, that's my first look. I will actually get the proper tripod and show you a writing sample and edit a couple of shots together for you. Okay, the pad I'm using is Nimacine number 194. It's the A5 size. I really like this paper. As you see, it's got an interesting rule. You can date and title your notes up here. And I do find often when I'm at meetings, for instance, and I'm at meetings a lot, that having these 3 sections is helpful to me. So this is what's going on in the meeting. This is what I need to think about later. This is what I'm daydreaming about, or something like that. So here we are with a Leonardo Furore, and we've got some Robert Oster Carolina Blue. And you know, I haven't thought of a sentence that I want to do for my testing of pens. Well, the word that I always test with is onomatopoeia. And this is the Leonardo Furore. And now you see this is only like 3 minutes later. By the way, here's the cheap tripod, bullshit. It's writing just fine. There was a little bit of a skip. And I would say this ink is a very medium blue. I tend to like darker, more saturated inks. This is a little bit lighter than that. The pen it writes wetly, but not super wetly, and I kind of like gushers, so I might do some playing around with this nib a little bit. Not the least of which is to maybe catch why it's doing a bit of a hard start every once in a while. There's another one. You can press it a little bit, but you know what? You don't really get any line variation from doing that. You just get a little more ink laid down. So all in all, I think it's a decent pen. I can't say that it's going to become a favorite. I do like the shape of the pen, this grip section, I don't know, something not great about that, but it certainly is a beauty. So thanks for watching my little quickie video, and I hope you have a great day, and really don't bother with the $3 tripods. They stink. Good morning. Coffee.